First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your First Alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just getting word on a new confirmation of a tornado in our area. Erica Page is going to have that information here for you in just a couple of minutes. That, of course, from the storms from the other day. Speaking of that, in North Ridgeville, residents' power just came back on after 2 days in the dark. Isabella Roberts is live, where people found ways to look out for each other as they waited for those lights to come back on.
Hey, Brian, behind me you can see that crews are actively working to clear this tree off of Floraline Street. Now, for people in North Ridgeville, the biggest relief has come. Power is back on, and while they spent 2 days in the dark, they really found a way to lean on their neighbors. For 2 days, severe thunderstorms left hundreds of North Ridgeville residents in the dark. But this afternoon, the lights finally came back on. First Energy crews restored power for most customers around 3 this afternoon, hours ahead of the 11 p.m. deadline the company had promised. But for residents like Diane Stamen, the wait felt anything but short.
That's like a mess. It was a hot mess.
She, like many neighbors on Floraline Street, lost power Tuesday night when severe thunderstorms ripped through the area. And as the hours stretched into days, she says it felt like the power would never come back.
I've never seen it so dark. It's so dark.
Without a generator, Stamen had to rely on her neighbors and her local coffee shop to get by.
I've been running up and back and forth to Starbucks to charge stuff and get the internet, because it's all down.
And those neighbors stepped up before she even had to ask.
And they offered anyways, long before I asked. So I ran down, took a big thing of food, frozen stuff, and put it in there. And then they let me hook up some of my power devices to get them charged.
The city of North Ridgeville declined an interview, but says it is, quote, fully engaged in storm recovery efforts and will post updates on social media and its website. A tree is still blocking part of Floraline Street. Crews have been working all day to clear it. But tonight, Stamen can finally flip the switch again.
It's been okay. Again, what are you going to do? At least it's not 15 degrees, snowing, blizzard. Right. So it's okay.
Now, if you have any food, spoiled food from the power outages, anything in your home that might have been damaged by any flooding, the city of North Ridgeville will have a commercial-sized dumpster behind City Hall that you will be free to use starting tomorrow, anytime till Monday. Live in North Ridgeville, Isabella Roberts, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, I want to talk about that new update from the National Weather Service. This just coming in within the last 10 minutes or so. This is an EF1 that was confirmed out towards the Chesterland area. Peak winds with this tornado about 100 miles per hour. It was on the ground for a little over 1.5 miles, and you can tell that the width certainly was a little bit larger than some of the smaller tornadoes that we've had in the past, 120 yards there. It began at 5:49, lifted at 5:51, and there were some tree damage, and that's kind of, I think, what really helped to lead the National Weather Service to determine that the damage there was in fact from a tornado. Live look outside, vastly different story for us today. A little bit of sunshine, a few clouds out there, warmer temperatures. That's what we've gotten to enjoy through the course of this afternoon, and we'll have a few more warmer days on tap as we wait for our next bigger system to roll in just in time for the weekend. In the short term, enjoy this beautiful weather as we still have it on hand. We'll walk you through when the big changes start and, of course, your Guardians forecast for tomorrow in just a bit.
A man who killed an 84-year-old grandmother will not go to prison. He was sentenced today in a hit-and-run death that shocked our community. Katie Tursick was in the courtroom.
No prison time for the man who killed Elizabeth Rock. Rock, a beloved mother and grandmother, died at 84 the night of December 17th, 2024. She had just left St. Barnabas Church in Northfield Center Township. Her 5-year-old granddaughter performing in a Christmas concert. Today, a judge handed Joseph Zolnowski 3 years of community control, 90 days of house arrest, and 1 year license suspension. Zolnowski apologized directly to the Rock family.
I just want to say I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm truly sorry for everything that happened.
Her son, Joseph Rock, stood before the man who killed his mother and chose grace.
And I know that my mom would not want to ruin an individual's life.
Rock says he still has questions about that night. Zolnowski told investigators he thought he hit a deer and got scared. He had been coming home from a work party. Zolnowski pleaded guilty to failure to stop after an accident. The judge acknowledged those questions may never be answered.
What the defendant knew and what he should have known may never be answered. And a myriad of questions that sometimes never get answered, that kind of always leaves a hole in your soul.
Joseph Rock lost his mother. Today, he chose to forgive the man who was responsible. He says that's exactly what his mother would have wanted. In Akron, Kate Tursek, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
Couple new issues to first alert you to this afternoon. First, I want to bring you to the Worcester area where there's flooding that's causing some slowdowns and closures around 302. Now, we do have some of that flooded area blocked off between Silver and Old Lincoln Way. So if you're about to be heading that way, do watch out. Don't try to go through any of those areas that are coned off, and I'll be keeping my eye on that and let you know if that recedes and clears. But I want to bring you to this broken down car that is still blocking one lane on 490. This is over at 71 or just after 71, but so far we're not seeing stop and go traffic anymore, so you should be able to get around them just fine. But we still have this issue over with a crash on Walter Road at Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Delays will be minimal, just around 2 minutes with speed slowing down to just about 20 miles per hour. And I want to bring you back to Menor. So there's another issue involving Johnny Cake Ridge Road. At least the one that was over by Center has been cleared, but now there's a new one that's on King Memorial over at Johnny Cake Ridge Road. But again, same with this crash, delays are going to be just a couple of minutes.
Well, we have some movement on the plans for the Cleveland Lakefront. North Coast Waterfront Development Corporation is adding 2 new leaders. The nonprofit hired Jason Russell as VP of Real Estate Development and Planning. He previously helped lead the redevelopment of Tower City for Bedrock. Elizabeth Place joins as VP of Finance. Nonprofit says the pair will be critical to the city's long-term lakefront vision. We have a brand new stadium showdown tomorrow covering all things related to the Browns stadium move to Brook Park. You can check that out on 19 News Plus at 6:30 every Friday. Previous episodes are available right now. Well, baseball is back. Sure, the Guardians had a successful West Coast swing. The Guards went 2-2 in Seattle against a really good Mariners team and then turned around and took 2 of 3 from the mighty back-to-back World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. But now it's the home opener, and the boys are back in town. That sets the stage for Game 1. The Guards face the Cubs, first game of a 3-game series, first pitch, 8:10 tomorrow. But tune in starting at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be live at the ballpark with a complete look at what's new, including food and the newest Guardians gear. But before tomorrow's excitement, the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland has a reminder for Catholics. While we wish the Guardians a very successful home opener on Friday, April 3rd, we cannot grant a dispensation to the practice of abstaining from meat for Catholics attending the baseball game on this most holy Friday of Lent. So no hot dogs for the Catholics heading to the game tomorrow. Well, one fugitive at a time. It's time for Cleveland's Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. Dan DeRose back with our second of 3 cases for the week. A lot of these people we find in Cleveland, but 2 of 3 here right now.
Right, and there is a reason that once you're convicted of a sex crime that you have to register as a sex offender. That's so that the authorities know where you are. They can tell your neighbors you're living there. And if there's ever a crime, they can start looking into potential suspects. That's why they want to know where Marcus Snorton is.
Well, Dan, we know that he has 2 warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, and these warrants are for failing to verify his address. He's a registered sex offender with the Sheriff's Department, and as you know, is required to register due to a guilty plea to gross sexual imposition in 2001. According to reports in that case, Snorton used force to engage in sexual conduct with 2 victims. He has an extensive criminal history with the Sheriff's Department dating back to 2001.
Detective, we do this because it helps clean up our community. It helps the victims get some justice, and it also leads to the potential of a reward of up to $5,000. And this is where you like to remind our folks of something.
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Very simple, anonymous phone call, 216-252-7463. You can also remember that's 216-25-CRIME. They don't record the call. They don't have caller ID. They don't even want your name. They just want the tip that leads to an arrest. And to Marcus Snorton, I say to you, we have a 78% capture rate of the fugitives that have been featured here on Channel 19. Hey, you may want to just do the right thing. Turn yourself in.
Well, after a successful launch, the crew of Artemis 2 has a major decision to make today. Continue toward the moon, that's the mission, or stay in Earth's orbit. A decision that could send those astronauts deeper into space than anyone has gone before. Brian Abel brings us the very latest.
We circled it completely and we forgot how beautiful it is to look down on Earth.
What a view for the 4-astronaut crew of NASA's Artemis 2. Safely into space after a successful launch of its historic mission.
And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Before they get to their lunar destination, though, a series of maneuvering tests of their Chariot, the Orion spacecraft. Then, a decision point this evening to boldly go where no one has gone before or not.
That puts us outbound to the moon. That's a real big commit point.
If they do choose to continue, the roughly 6-minute translunar injection burn will increase Orion's velocity by about 900 miles per hour, propelling the capsule out of Earth's orbit toward the moon. Then slingshotting it around our closest universal neighbor, where the crew will be in a space league of their own.
They're going much farther than the other crews have before. So this is really uncharted territory. It's really important because we've never been to that part. So you don't want to go somewhere you've never been. You don't know what the craters are like. So it's basically charting your way before you actually want to get there and land.
The mission testing our capacity for deeper exploration while inspiring a whole new generation.
I can't wait to see what this generation, the Artemis generation, drives from it.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Well, more than 700,000 sauté pans have been recalled over safety concerns. The Granite Stone Diamond Pro Blue sauté pans made by E. Michon and Sons were sold as a two-piece set. A metal cap connecting the handle to the pan can come loose and fly off when it's heated. That'd be something. Nearly 100 incidents have been reported, including at least one that resulted in bruising and burns. Contact the company for a refund. All right, next, Sam's Club is recalling members-marked children's pajama sets. They can easily catch fire. Contact Sam's Club for information on how to receive a full refund. You'll be asked to return the product to their local store or to destroy them by cutting them in half and send a picture. Brand new 19 Investigates drops tonight at 6:30. Join me, including a big step forward in how Ohio handles missing persons cases. Plus, Summit County judge let a convicted felon out of jail to attend a funeral. He never came back. How investigators finally tracked him down. Those stories and more tonight on 19 News Plus.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page back with us. We started cool. It was really cool out this morning, but we went flying right up.
We did, and that was all thanks to the warm front that rolled in. It also brought us a few showers first part of the day. Good news for us, rain chances pretty limited as we continue on into this evening. I won't say there's zero, but I don't think everybody's going to pick up on rain. Better chances working back in as we get into tomorrow. Now, you'll have a couple of different windows, one in the morning and then one, unfortunately, again, once we get into the afternoon. It'll also be windy first part of the day, which means temperatures, yes, will soar back into the 70s, but as the wind backs off later part of the afternoon up near the lakeshore, a little bit of a lake breeze may be possible, and so game time temperatures may be into the 60s. Don't worry though, we're not done with the 70-degree weather just yet. Saturday looking to be a warm day, scattered showers and storms in the area. That all comes out ahead of our next cold front, which will move through once we get into Sunday. So here's tomorrow. Temperatures again mid-70s, well above normal for this time of the year, and we're pretty much going to be at that point kind of from start to finish. Temperatures in the morning morning into the 60s, warming very quickly into the 70s. You can see that little hint of a lake breeze once we get into the afternoon, which will drop your temperatures a little bit more. Here's your future view. Rest of tonight, couple spotty showers. Again, not a huge deal for a lot of us. If you do have any evening plans out and about, better rain chance comes together early tomorrow morning. It'll be a little bit more widespread in terms of how coverage will be across our area. But by midday, generally drying out, temperatures are able to rebound, and then you'll watch during the afternoon. A few showers and storms south of the lakeshore are possible. Again, I think we'll be fine for the Guardians game as we kind of start the game late afternoon, wrap it up early evening, but we'll have to watch where exactly some of those showers and storms land, and then that activity will start to move back north, and again, a little bit cooler near the lakeshore. I do think game time temperatures will stay into the 60s.
Now your top 4 at 4. Real mess during the morning rush hour near the Cleveland-Lakewood border because of a pothole. At one point, traffic was backed up more than 4 miles. ODOT says at least 12 cars hit the crater. To make matters worse, this is a construction area, so there's no shoulder for cars to pull off on. Thankfully, ODOT has fixed that pothole. Today, a judge sentenced the man for the death of former Channel 19 reporter Bill Saffos. Zachary Saliba will spend 7 days in county jail, be on probation for 2 years, and have his driver's license suspended for 5 years. Saliba hit Saffos with a car on Madison Avenue in Lakewood in 2024. Saffos died from his injuries. An Archbishop Hoban High School teacher faces 10 counts of sexual battery. Today, Chad Kendall was in court for a possible plea hearing, but it was continued to next Monday to give him and his lawyer more time to review the offer. Charges do not involve a current student. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been fired from the Department of Justice. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will serve as acting Attorney General. In a social media post, President Trump says Bondi has a new job in the private sector. Now, in just a few moments, how President Trump had grown frustrated with Bondi on several fronts. The FDA has approved a new obesity pill. The new Eli Lilly drug, Foundayo, will start shipping Monday. The second GLP-1 pill coming to the market. In a large clinical trial, the patients taking the lowest dose of Foundayo saw an average weight loss of 7.5%. Patients taking the highest dose lost a little over 11%. Not quite as good as injectables like Ozempic and Wegovy, but the pill does have other advantages.
Not everybody can inject themselves, don't feel comfortable injecting themselves. And unlike earlier GLP-1 pills, this doesn't require you to fast. You don't have to time your meals around when you take it. So it just makes it a lot easier to take, and therefore people are more likely to stick with it.
Most common side effects were gastrointestinal. About 10% of those taking the highest dose stopped because of side effects. Cost up to $349 a month without insurance, as low as $25 with insurance. Homes and businesses now have what they call unintended waterfront property in one local township. That's because their yards and even their basements are flooded at times with feet of water when it rains. Catherine Huntley with our story.
This isn't some pond here in Columbia Township. It's flooding, and according to the city, it goes as deep as 5 feet in some places. That's almost as tall as I am. And it's not just some one-off thing. Neighbors tell me the problem has been going on for years. So we're trying to find out when the problem will be solved.
I'm paying so much money to live here, so much in taxes and insurance. For what? I mean, this is awful. I'm paying for this.
Holly Collins has had enough. Her driveway and yard is inundated with water along State Route 82 in Lorain County's Columbia Township. That flooding stretches way down the street, so bad she needs to pick up her daughter in a car at the school bus.
I want my daughter to be able to get off the bus and be happy. I want her to be able to have her friends over. I want her to be able to play in her yard. I mean, this is disgusting.
It's a shocking sight just how much water there is following this week's rains. Take a look at this. One neighbor shared this video of kayaking through the floodwaters last year.
My house is over there.
But everyone has had enough of the years-long problem.
I've talked to people in the township, and for years and years, nothing has been done. My father's been gone a year and a half, and he tried to get this done. So enough is enough.
So we reached out to the township. A trustee told us they received a $400,000 grant to fix the issue. But the problem is neighbors don't want to grant an easement to get the water into Plum Creek. They also pointed the finger at the county.
We've been working with the county, trying to get them to move on it. And the more pressure that we put on the county to get this done, the sooner it will get done.
The county did not respond to our request for comment. As for ODOT, who maintains State Route 82, they told us in a statement the issue falls to county and Columbia Township's jurisdiction. For now, Collins just wants the problem fixed so she doesn't have to worry.
The backyards are flooded, and that's where everybody's septic is going. So I definitely have a concern, like, what is in this water, and why don't they care?
In Columbia Township, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
A local mom goes missing. The sheriff tells her family she's safe, but the truth is she's dead. Her boyfriend killed her. The disturbing story of Amanda Dean and what her family endured is the subject of our latest Dark Side of the Land podcast. Here's Nicole Versansky with a preview.
I'm very, very happy and overwhelmed that we have a new baby. I have a new baby niece.
A proud aunt, a loyal sister, a loving and fun mom, a daughter with a smile that lit up a room.
She was strong. She was a tomboy. You know, she was a beautiful singer. She had probably one of the best personalities.
The kind of person people remembered. But July 11th, 2017, Amanda Dean disappeared. And the people who were supposed to find her, the Huron County Sheriff, told her family to stop looking.
And they said, well, Amanda's been found safe. She's in a safe location, and she's being taken care of.
But Amanda wasn't safe. Amanda was dead. It would be years before anyone would learn the horror of what happened.
When I saw this case, I'm like, that's kind of interesting.
After more than 5 years of no Amanda and no investigation, her family's pleas for help caught the attention of Cleveland Missing and Newburgh Heights Police Chief John Majoy.
They weren't getting anywhere, and they were demanding proof of life. Like, why isn't somebody helping them?
What happened next jump-started a full-blown investigation, interviews, searches. In just over a year, state detectives pieced together what the sheriff had not.
I have a warrant for your arrest. Turn around, put your hands up.
Fred Rear, Amanda's boyfriend, the person who was supposed to love her, killed her, then cut up her body and burned it for days behind the very cabin where they lived. He dumped what was left in a creek.
And he made sure that we didn't get nothing of her. Nothing.
With no body, the punishment was 14 years in prison for a man who showed no remorse. Amanda's sons, her family, her friends, they feel cheated.
14 years was not enough, especially with all the things that he did.
Sometimes, when I close my eyes, it's almost sometimes I see her crying out. And I wasn't there when she took her last breath, and I think I failed sometimes protecting her. And I know she didn't deserve any of this. Nobody does.
An unimaginable loss, and a question that still haunts them.
Why would the sheriff lie? You don't know. Why is our biggest question to this day.
But another chilling question is surfacing. Was Amanda Fred's only victim, or could there be others?
Fred can, look over his shoulder and wonder when the state of Florida is going to come knocking.
It's all part of our latest Dark Side of the Land episode. They Said She Was Safe, the murder of Amanda Dean. It's available now wherever you get your podcasts. We reached out to the Huron County Prosecutor's Office several times. I also went there in person, requesting evidence in the case. One big question: has anyone interviewed the sheriff regarding his statement that Amanda was safe? They have not responded.
That's Nicole Versansky reporting. Amanda Dean's family is suing the Huron County Sheriff's Department. We reached out to the sheriff, but he declined to comment, citing the lawsuit. Again, You can listen to our latest podcast right now. Just search Dark Side of the Land and subscribe on Apple or Spotify. You can also listen to it on Cleveland19.com.